Om Vande Gurum Shivam Sambam Dakshina Murtimavyayam Yatbandanena Mandopi Vinded Guru Samanatam Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Buddhi Rupena Samsthita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha Kadalagi Kasind Kannir Malgi Oduvardamai Nannirikku Ipadam Vedam Nangirum Mei Purullavad Nathanamam Namashivayave Namasabhai Sabhavatibhyascha. My humble pranams to the satsang here. I would like to present the view from Shaiva Agamas, exactly what this universe is, and I would like to present a paper because it's around 12 to 15 minutes. I always thought this would be better. I will just present my paper here. Shiva Nishvasitam Vedaha Vagrupascha Shiva Agamaha. The vital breath of Lord Shiva are the Vedas. And the Agamas are the words. Like when a person is breathing, we will not able to see him directly. Unless and until we see him directly, we will not able to know that he is there. So whatever the Lord Shiva has said, it is coming through his words called the Agamas. Shiva Nishvasitam Vedaha Vagrupascha Shiva Agamaha. And only when we experience, like whatever we perceive, we experience, only by experience. Once we experience Lord Shiva, that the purpose of the birth, Shastras, Shaiva Agamas says, and we have to reach Lord Shiva. Pati, Pashu, Pasha, Tritayam, Tripadarthaha. Pati, Pashu and Pasha. Pati is the Supreme Shiva. He is, Adi Madhyanta Nirmuktaha, Swabhava Vimalaf Prabhuhu, Sarvajnaha Paripurnascha, Shivaha Jnayaha Shiva Agame. He is absolute. The Parashiva is called Paranada. From the Parashiva, who is always with the Parashakti. It's called Samaveta Shakti, inseparable. Like Ardhanarishvara, they are inseparable. Then comes another Shakti called Parabindu. From the Parabindu, the creation begins. From the Parabindu, next Nada and Bindu called Shiva Tattva and Shakti Tattva, then Sadashiva Tattva, then Ishvara Tattva and Shuddha Vidya Tattva, which are called as Shiva Tattvas. In general, all the 5 Tattvas are called Shiva Tattvas. Then Vidya Tattvas, we have 7. And the first one is the Maya Tattva. And Agamas talks about, Maya, Mahamaya and Maya. Parabindu and Bindu. And from this Maya Tattva, the world we are living begins. And that's why my topic I said from Maya Tattva to Priti Tattva, from the 31st Tattva to the first of the Tattva. So, Pati is Lord Shiva, Pashu is all the individual souls, all the souls. There are 84 lakhs of species. Human being is just one in it. And the prayers that are performed at the temple reaches every beings. And Pasha is whatever other than Pati and Pashu, everything Pasha, this ecology, everything, the environment, everything remains as Pasha. So, Pati is the transcendental Shiva. When he acts, he does the 5-fold function of Panchakritya: creation, preservation, dissolution, wheeling and grace. The Pashu are the Atmanaha, those who are the reason for the creation of the world. Vishwa Nimittasya Praptam. For the Lord to create this world, he didn't have any reason for it. He gave this world for these Pashus to exhaust their karmas. Like in the Bhoga Karika, Bhoga is Sukha and Dukha. So, the world itself has no use for itself since it is Achaitanya, nor can the creator have any use for the world since he is by definition without desire, nor can he do an action without utility. Therefore, by inference, the world must have been created to be of use to some other entity. This other entity is the Kshetrajna or the soul. Pasha is the bond. The difference between the bound soul and the liberated soul is only that of the limitations of the Pasha. One is dependent and the other is eternally conscious. The bonds, also called as Mala or threefold. The first bond is original covering of the Anu, Anava Mala, exists beginninglessly. It shrinks the soul from being infinite to a finite bound entity. The other two are Karma and Maya that are manifested by the grace of the Pati for the benefit of the Pashu in order to remove the Anava Mala. The eternal power of karma binds all worlds from Maya to Kala and helps the soul take bodies and various experiences. Maya is the entire manifested world. It gives the space and substrate for the soul to be embodied and to be liberated. Today we will see how the Sidhhanta sees the world, what Shaiva Agamas talks about the Pati, Pashu and Pasha. The insights, this was the introduction. The insights, the way the Sidhhanta sees the world is in the form of 36 tattvas from Pati to Prithvi tattva or the earth. As we saw earlier, the Paranada and Parabindu are different. You know, the Shastra says Gandhe, Prithvi, Rase, Jalam, Rupe, Agni, Sparshe, Vayuhu, Shabde, Vyoma, Yetaha, Tanmatraha, Tamasahankare, Shrotra, Tvak, Chakshu. It talks about, how, it goes back from the Prithvi tattva to the uppermost Shiva tattva. And here, Tadapi Akshubdha Rupe. Akshubdha Rupe means, that Maya which is not disturbed. To that Maya, above that Maya tattva is Lord Parashiva. So Shaivagama talks about this world as the real world. He talks about different tattva, Shuddha tattva, Visa, Shuddha tattva. Shuddha and Ashuddha is called Mishra Bhuvana, which has Maya, Kala, Niyati, Kala, Vidya, Raga and Purusha. And Ashuddha tattvas, which is called Atma tattvas, Prakriti, Guna, Buddhi, Ahankara, Manas, Jnanendriya, Karmendriya, Tanmatra and Panchabhutas. All belongs to Atma tattva. Atma tattva, Vidya tattva and Shiva tattva. There are three tattvas. So these three tattvas are there in the Shivalinga also. We do Atma tattva, Brahma bhaga, Vidya tattva, Vishnu bhaga, Shiva tattva, Rudra bhaga. So when we offer the prayers to Lord Shiva, like when we water at the root, it reaches each and every part of the tree. As all the eminent speakers, they spoke, we are going to the root. We are going to this Indic study because we want a solution by which not only the world we are living should be happy, but all the worlds around the universe should be happy. So this Prapancha, the Agamas talks about 224 bhuvanas also in Shadadva. There are Bhunadva. All the bhuvanas are being worshipped in Lord Shivalinga in the form of Sadashiva Rupa. There are 36 tattvas. And regarding the tattvas, Apralayam Yat Tishtati Sarvesham Bhogadayi Bhutanam Tat Tattvam Iti Proktam. Na Sharira Ghatati Tattwamataha. It is not just whom we see today. We are talking about the nest, the source, the seed is being protected by the prayers performed at the temple. So the Acharya, what is the part of the Acharya? Achinoti, Acharati, Acharya Sthapayati. We have the Acharanam. So what is the part of the Acharya, the Adishaiva? He has to undergo the Diksha. It's called Acharya. It's called Sivacharyara. The power of Sidhhanta is to make the entire creation accessible to us. One of the powerful processes through which the entire creation is made accessible is Bhuta Shuddhi, that treats the human body as an intersection of the Pati, Pashu and Pasha. The microcosm, which is an instance of the macrocosm. Like this mic helps me to give the words in a bigger sound. Likewise, all the Pashus are connected to the Pati through the Acharya. Shuddhi is to cleanse. Bhuta denotes the body made up of 5 bhutas. The Stula Sharira. Bhuta Shuddhi is the 5 kinds of Shuddhis required before the Adishiva priest becomes eligible to perform Shiva Puja. They are respectively Atma Shuddhistu Purvam Syat. It starts like Atma Shuddhi, Sthana Shuddhi, Dravya Shuddhi, Mantra Shuddhi and Linga Shuddhi. Shivikaranam, by this process looks simple, but I always say a SIM card looks simple, but each and every design has its own meaning. A seed looks simple, but if you open a seed, it loses its meaning. So these rituals are so meaningful, it has to be practiced as it is. So the Pancha Shuddhis are there. So it talks about Prithvi Tattva. Maybe tomorrow's session we will have in a detail, because it talks about different colors for all the Pancha Bhutas. And we will see the evolutes are envisioned to devolve back into their superior Tattva. As we saw the Prithvi Tattva, Gandhe, Prithvi, Rase, Jalam, it goes back to the source. Rase Jalam goes back to the Gandha, Jala goes back into the Rasa, Agni goes back into the Rupa likewise. The Sthula Sharira is made up of 5 bhutas. These are cleansed by using them against each other. The Paraspara Virodha Bhava. It's very interesting. The Bhuta Shuddhi, at one point of time, the Acharya forgets himself. Agama says, Chandrarka Nashane Puja. When the sun and the moon are destroyed, it means you are connected into it. It's called, you have to go into the Sushumna Nadi. Chandra and Surya are the Ida and Pingala Nadi. You should totally, Chandrarka Nashane means, you should totally be away from it. And that is Subramanya. Subramanya, Valli Devasena is Ida, Pingala and Sushumna. So once you start traveling in the Sushumna, you are able to reach the Dwadashanta, which is the abode of Lord Shiva. And Nataraja, who is dancing in all of us. What I speak, what you hear, every movement in this world is Lord Nateshas. This has been explained in the Agamas. So it talks about the Sthula Sharira. And Sthula Sharira, as we saw the 5 elements, it talks about, all the 5 elements, the Prithvi, Jala, Agni, Vayu and Akasha. It talks about the mandalas, the color, different colors for these Panchabhutas, and texture, whether it is Katina, whether it's hard, everything has been explained in the Agamas. And, the yantra, the symbol of these Panchabhutas are explained. It's like this, like you have an app. You have to just touch it. You talk about touch phone. You touch it and you're able to open it. So when we worship Lord Shiva in the form of Sadashiva, which comprise, the whole universe is comprised in the form of Sadashiva, Sakala and Nishkala. So you are able to touch the whole universe. Whatever is offered there, the Nivedana, the Abhisheka, and Madam, she rightly said, even the students are, they're encouraged to do the Jala Abhisheka to Lord Shiva. It means they are doing, to the whole universe, like watering at the root. It talks about the Panchabhutas and how it can be balanced. So by performing the Bhuta Shuddhi, by performing the Archana, the 5 elements are being balanced. See, sometimes our software engineer, if he is unable to come to our home, what he does is he can operate from his place. We just have to give him, okay, we have to just accept his request and he can access our system. Likewise, through the temple worship, the Acharya accesses all the worlds and he makes it happy, balanced. So the natural disasters can be warded off by the proper prayers at the temple. And benefits. The attitude is not just for temporary gain, but a far-sighted vision. Yavat bhavasya samshuddhihi tavat shaucham samachari. Bhavana mata santushtayi namaha parashakti. Bhavana is very important. That is more important in Agamas. It says the 5 elements and all the tattvas are accessed and purified. They are accessed. It can be felt when the Acharya does for the Prithvi Tattva. Om Khlam. He says the Khlam is the bija for the Prithvi Tattva. Lam is the Prithvi bija, and Ham is the bija of the soul. Ham is the bija of the soul. So what happens is Khlam means the Prithvi is being cleansed. So likewise for all the other elements also we have the bijas. So the challenge it also keeps the manifested world in order. That is what we are talking about. Sir was talking about how much of pollution, how much, so many things are happening. This can be changed by the system if this Indic system is followed. So manifested world order, the right relationships in the right proportions, so that it keeps the world in balance and prevents natural calamities. And even Mahadev was talking about even the food we intake. Like soya, he said, the soya milk, the soya, soya oil. It makes changes in the system also, with the relationships also. So here, by the prayers performed at the temple in the prescribed way, it can make changes in the whole environment, in the psychic changes also. So the challenge to every tradition is in demonstrating the efficacy of that path. Bhuta Shuddhi demonstrates to the initiate that not only does the Sidhhanta give him the map of the universe, but that he can travel back up to the source using the Sidhhanta map. Like a GPS, you just have to worship as per the Agamas. It says you have to do every minute details are given in the Agamas. How much water has to be used, how much Nivedana has to be given, every minute details are given. So we can go to the source, Lord Shiva, in an easier and faster way. So we got into the flight. I didn't do any effort. My effort was nil. but I was able to come to Ahmedabad yesterday. So likewise, we just have to enter into this system by which we are taken to the right source. Every day he tests the truth, and every day he realizes the truth. Just as a student studies the anatomy of a body and sees it in practice when he cuts open a body, the initiate is able to visualize the microcosmic universe by the prayers. The recommendations. Our Sanatana Dharma tradition is not for one, but for entire creation. It's called Sanatana, it's eternal. One family, one world, one future. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The family is a family of all the souls, not just human beings, all the beings. And world is emanated from the Maya Tattva, as per the Shaiva Agamas, from the Maya Tattva. It is real. It is not unreal. It is real. What I am seeing is real. So it says Maya Tattva. The future is both our current future in this mundane world, in this birth, and the ultimate moksha. So the philosophical truths should reach all people around the world for the appreciation and preservation of this ancient tradition. So this should reach our younger generations, because they have so much of questions, and I pray our learned audience that this, we have the technology also today, so we should reach each and every part of the world through about these great truths. Temples are the core of this tradition. Prayers at the temple should not be disturbed. Like, if the password is wrong, if you enter the password in a wrong password, you cannot enter. The prayers has to be done as it is. There should not be any kind of compromise there. So should not be disturbed, because what is happening to us there back in Tamil Nadu. We cannot change the tradition ad hoc. It is programmed like the dot. I always say it is like .exe file. .exe file. Only the software engineer will know. Other people, the user will not know. But if you delete it, we cannot use the other files. So our Shastras are like exe files. So without that, we cannot move away. It's like the source. It's like the tower. When we move away from the tower, we have to say hello, hello, hello. We cannot reach. So our Shastras are nothing but our exe files. So like a exe file. It's more than that. Even a small change in that can change the entire nature of things. So we have to be very careful. It cannot be taken for granted. That we cannot fathom or predict. Those who administer the temples on behalf of the society should also know the basis of the tradition. So they are able to better serve the temples and the public without their personal bias. I cannot, delay the utsavas, because everything is based on time. Everything is based on space. So everything has to be done as it is. When people are aware of the philosophical background, their journey is richer, faster, and meaningful. Therefore, everyone should aim to get Diksha in their own traditions, because Diksha, Diyate Kshiyate, it gives the Sadbhavana. So it's so important. So all the Pashus, in whichever tradition you are, you should get the Diksha, the traditional Acharya Parampara, to access the continuity of many thousands of years of wisdom, as well as keep themselves focused on the path without getting derailed in materialism. This itself will have a huge impact on both human wellness and as well as ecological wellness. And sixth is, once they understand the tattvas, they will realize that they are a part of everything, and everything is part of them. So the oneness, Abheda Darshanam Jnanam, takes place. So when we destroy what is outside, we destroy a part of ourselves as well. However, even when people are not aware of the Agama, ensures that they are protected through the Parartha Puja at temples. For example, the Vyadhi Nashana Vidhi and Adbhuta Shanti Vidhi seeks to protect the whole world and prevent Sarvesham. It doesn't say Shaiva, Vaishnava, any particular, it says Sarvesham, for all the beings in the Vyadhi Nashana Vidhi. So we need to protect the practitioners, because they are the Agram Vrikshasya Rajanaham, Moolam Vrikshasya Pujakaha. The root has to be protected. So they have to be protected. They are charged with this for life, for universal benefit. We cannot change this dharma to a job. This is not a job, this is a way of life that has preserved our common human heritage for thousands of years, that should not be destroyed with political notions of appeasement. We need to foster further research on the Agama traditions. This is more important, so we can harness their knowledge treasures. There are several thousands of manuscripts that are yet to see the light. They need to be preserved, transcribed, edited, published, and translated into many languages for the people. The government of India should recognize the priceless value of this ancient integrated social system of temple rituals and philosophy for universal benefit, and take it globally. Like, we say we have this in our country. We have this in our country, come and watch. like that, we have this tradition in our country, which is praying for the universe. This has to go through the government of India. And this is the right time, offering for the wellness of the whole world. Through embassies and soft power, this treasure should reach the world as India's eternal prayers for the entire universe, irrespective of the religion, nationality, or even whether they are human, plants, animals, or inanimate entities. And at last, there should be highest protection to strengthen and preserve the continuity of this ancient integrated system of universal prayers, as this is closely intertuned with all the nature and the multiverse with the power to impact and influence it. I thank the audience, the learned scholars here for this opportunity, and thank you very much. Namaskaram. Jai Hind. Vande Mataram. Jai Hind. And I also thank this Punya Bhumi, and especially the Kshatriyas of the northern part of India. See, whatever we are able to come and speak, they say southern part of India, we have this rich in culture and everything, but this has been protected by all of you. We feel that this is the platform for us to give it back to all the Kshatriyas who have given their lives to protect whatever we have in the southern part of India. This has to come back, and this is the right beginning and the right place. Once again, congratulations to all of the organizers for this very big Sankalpa. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram.